Thank you again for waiting, and thank you for coming to today's PureLink University webinar. Today's topic is going to be going over the story behind cross-platform matrix switching. I am your host today, Tyler Small. I'm a part of the technical support team here at PureLink, and we are going to, as the description talked about today, go over the history and future of cross-platform matrix switching, how PureLink has been involved throughout the years, and it will continue to be a part of this part of the AV field, and a whole lot more. So thank you again for hopping in. To begin, I'd just like to say that PureLink is a company of many products, many cutting-edge additions to the world of AV. One of the product lines we are most proud of here at PureLink, and potentially what makes us most known around the industry, is our line of cross-platform matrix switchers. At one point, cross-platform matrix switching was the only way to not only consolidate the amount of power supplies and black boxes required for a professional AV setup, but it also made possible the projects that we now commonly see throughout the industry. But before that, or before this technology was established in the field, there was really no signs of it. But how did we get to this point? And where is this technology going down the line? Before we get into cross-platform matrix switching and that history on its own, we want to talk about our story here at PureLink. So whether you've heard the story here before or not, I think it's always worth saying that since 2002, our founder, Minsu Park, has been always on the cutting edge of technology and has always been trying to advance the field through small to large scale inventions, which we could see here on this list. So it all got started back in 2002 with the world's first DVI to fiber cable, and plenty of other aspects of it came from that, including being the first to ever work with HDCP keys to make matrix switching happen at all in the first place. Then going to things like the RS-232 over fiber, as you see, the first 4K AV over IP, and of course, the matrix switchers, before we get into some of the other AV over IP aspects of the world, and then control and automation. But from this laundry list of firsts in the industry and additions to what we thought were possible in the world of specs and scopes, PureLink has always tried to push the needle forward and tried to be on the helpful side of some of the headaches in the industry. From that, we obviously have a laundry list of products in our discography as well, and they have been broken down into 7 different sister companies within PureLink's umbrella of technology. So as I just talked about control and automation, that is Icon, which has launched PushGo, which we have talked about in other webinars, and we will be happy to talk to you about in another session. But today is mostly about the 2 you're going to see there in the middle, Media Access and Pure Media. That is our scalable size of cross-platform matrix switchers, going from anything from 20 to 20 to 288 by 288, the size of basically a full-size fridge. PureStream is our AV over IP line, so in terms of scalability, that's where we give plenty of different solutions and options for audio and video over network. HD Tools is a lot of our point-to-point smaller solutions, so think extenders or switchers, scalers, amplifiers, whatever you think. And Total Wire, which is our wire company, or our cabling company, I should say, for top-of-the-line quality in cables. Our clients, we like to highlight our 400 plus clients that we work consistently with and have had positive rapport with, because it comes in all different types of industries and all different types of scales. As you can see here, plenty of different logos that might pop out to you, but the ones that we especially like to hang our hat on and show our pride in are the mission critical ones. So the CIA, the Department of the United States, the Pentagon, the United Nations, plenty of different mission critical, needs to work, needs reliability, and needs technical support, which we are happy and proud to offer and have since 2002. Now that we just briefly went over the history of PureLink, and that will be a recurring theme throughout these slides, let's look into the history of cross-platform matrix switching now. Here, we will see how the world of technology pushed towards the requirement of cross-platform switching and how PureLink was integral to the development of this technology throughout the field. In the early 2000s, the AV world was grappling with the divide between analog and digital signals, and PureLink entered the scene with a vision to commercialize DVI cables. So then in 2002, when he talked about the first DVI over fiber cable, not only was it the launching point of PureLink as a brand and PureLink as an innovator, but as the need for DVI commercialization grew, we branched into developing the first ever large-scale DVI matrix switcher to go on top of that. Because the solution that was found with that DVI over fiber cable just kind of opened up what could be even more potential to help automate the process of, again, what was a headache now could turn into a solution. In 2008, over 60% of professional displays feature digital inputs, accelerating the shift towards HDMI and HDCP-based systems. PureLink quickly adapted to this shift by creating the first cross-platform modular matrix switcher to manage its industry's rapidly evolving AV ecosystem. That's where you see here, which kind of led into PureLink's launch of the PM series in 2012, which became the go-to solution for 1080p distribution and EDID management. So several of the other options as HDMI became the default go-to, I should say, of the field. And all the issues came when trying to protect it from piracy and any middleman being put and cutting off signal. The biggest change that PureLink had to go about was those HDCP regulations and working with several different EDIDs as the technology of displays continued to grow as well. As time progressed, the HD-based-T Alliance released HD-based-T 2.0. This allowed for networking, switching, and multi-point connectivity, so huge in the world of corporate America that all this media, audio, data, if you will, could just be packaged into network packets. And as we've seen the rapid growth of that field, but it was coming quick at the same time when point-to-point communication was the only way. So you see here, we were left with a problem and solution. Before 2000, over 70% of professional AV systems required manual rerouting or conversion hardware to support multiple signal types. Analog switching meant circuit-based systems. So whether it's the old school computer monitors still using VGA, whether it's the cables for cameras, for example, still utilizing SDI, which is something we still see in the field today, but especially in those times, whether it was long-term fiber cables being run, several different avenues for source to display and how to manage them, mitigate them, it all had to be done manually. There was no automation throughout that field. So the solution was modular matrix switchers enabled enterprises to switch without signal loss while reducing latency. PureLink created the largest modular cross-platform matrix switcher system with various frame size to meet end users' needs. So not only was the development of the technology put in, but it was allowed to be in smaller scopes. So for smaller companies or smaller solutions where it did not need these large scale full rack mount units, it could be something in a condensed, as we still sell today, 20 by 20 size. Obviously, the solution was great for its time and still great for today, but there are in any realm of technology, there are going to be issues on top of that. There are going to be issues just as the development of the field continues. So in modern AV demands 30 to 50%, there are more routing endpoints than 10 years ago, which highlights the demand for scalable, flexible solutions. Because that 30 to 50% is definitely an exponential growth, and it is absolutely going to be still going up in size and scale, and the requirements of the signal standards or amount of data being transferred, especially as more goes over a network, is going to continue to rapidly grow. So this gave a defined purpose then and still to this day for cross-platform matrix switching. Cross-platform systems provide a tangible benefit by reducing both cabling and integration costs by up to 35% compared to traditional point-to-point setups as we saw back in the day. They effectively eliminate signal mismatches and offer advanced control capabilities throughout interfaces like LAN. And PureLink ensured our matrix switcher platforms were network controllable via LAN as early as the 2010s, which now has become a standard, but at the time, while again, before even cross-platform matrix switches were there, everything had to be manually routed, manually done. The ability to control from one consolidated source alongside a lot of the headaches that would come from not having to manually route and manage the cabling for swapping and switching over from sources 1 to B. It allows the ease of such a complex setup. As we approached 2017, the SMPTE-ST 2110 standards, which is just the suite of standards for media transmitted over IP networks, were publicized. This marked a significant shift towards professional IP network-based AV systems. So while AV over IP might have been done or thought of before then, this is what really standardized it and rapidly inserted it into the world of AV distribution. When networks were already being run through the walls, why not have video and audio be transmitted through those same cables as opposed to needing more cables in themselves, more space in the walls, and more several hours of integration time and effort. This led to a reduction in costs with AV over IP endpoints as the new ecosystem alternative to cross-platform matrix switching, with copper cables up to 100 meters and fiber optic for larger distances. AV over IP systems deliver flexible and scalable management for network switch ports, because obviously the one downside in terms of integration, obviously we have at PureLink our own size of custom fit matrix switchers. So 20 by 20, 36 by 36, as you continue to go up, you got to be pretty accurate and hope that nothing else grows within your project, which is very difficult to assume. Because if you go past that point, obviously it's going to be the requirement of a new matrix switcher. Where a network switch, you could obviously relay them together and all of a sudden your 48 port becomes double, triple, quadruple, whatever you may need. But as we said, there's still a need for cross-platforms presence in the AV world. So even though that scalability is a great option, cost-wise, it is a great option as well. And there are several different aspects for AV over IP, and that's why we see it as such a popular demand in PureLink space with our VIP T400 encoder decoder sets, for example, or our own proprietary network switchers. We know that also a lot of our clientele, as we were talking about back at the beginning, are still going to require this point-to-point reliability. So whether we see that in the majority of our cruise lines, military and government, so definitely the mission critical aspect of it, financial firms, education institutions, sports stadiums, and more. There's a lot of different reasons why, yes, the ease of setting up a project will be significantly easier for the integration team, for the project designer, for anyone really involved in the installation and setup of the technology. The risks that could come with a network outage, or risk that could come with the issues of not having it in a consolidated space and consolidated power distribution unit being run to the matrix switcher, allows for some issues, whether it is obviously a lot of our high touch mission critical partners that need something to be running 24/7 that could be cut off in an instant via the fiber connection, or several different aspects that you absolutely need to know that at 9 a.m. on Monday and at 2 a.m. on Sunday, that the technology that you have is running and working properly. And if not, someone's going to answer for it. But also just in the simple aspects of if you are going to a Miami Dolphins game or at Topgolf or at one of our matrix switchers that are at theme parks. You would also be pretty disappointed if you got to the theme park or to the football game and the power was shut off because of the network and nothing you were there to spend your hard-earned money on was working properly. All these companies need this reliability, especially for the cruise lines that have several hours to days before they can get back to port to even fix something. If something goes offline and it's a network issue as opposed to something that is easier to resolve with cabling, it's an issue. And we see that as a still very popular demand in our field. But where does it go from here? And as network traffic continues to be encrypted more and more and condensed so that it could have not only that security, but reliability. And as the technology continues to advance where network traffic and network AV over IP could continue to grow with it, potentially faster than cross-platform matrix switching, is it still going to have its corner in the field? And us at PureLink and a lot of people in the field still believe so. PureLink has consistently led AV innovation, seamless integration of HDMI, SDI, HD-based fiber, and IP within a single ecosystem. Future of AV is hybrid, as we know, demanding ultimate flexibility and is being reshaped by the increased usage of artificial intelligence and automation. PureLink's Icon and PureStream are designed to pave the way for these flexible all-in-one solutions and control environment together. So the integration of our proprietary Icon control automation software, which won an award back at Infocom for the best new product, is going to be working and continues to work side by side with our cross-platform matrix switches. So while we will continue to offer and support the AV over IP world, our new and improved control software gives the best understanding remotely or physically to our scalable matrix switchers. As the technology continues to grow from the 1920 to 1080p days to now 8K in the world that is continuing to advance in quality and quantity, we will continue to support that through our Max 2 and PM frames, wherever the standards may be. And we are going to eventually just get into our individual specs and scopes of our products. But for the most part, we can reliably say with this automation and AI growth, we are continue to be on that cutting edge and be there for the next steps of it, and still believe that cross-platform matrix switchers are going to be an integral part of the future of this field. But of course, it leaves us with one more problem and solution. Looking ahead, 8K video is an emerging challenge, primarily due to the limited content sources and the higher bandwidth and infrastructure required for 8K cross-platform matrix switching. The solution to the problem lies in the AI-driven upscale technologies, which can scale existing FHD and UHD content sources into a stunning 8K resolution, still with the reliability that we have offered since 2002. So this can lead us into our line of PureStream. So just to give you another option, because we obviously have talked about the Max 2 and PM lines, but our PureStream line that gives that scalability and gives a lot of the same technologies for the increased growth of quality. We still have our own line that is going to be proprietary for that measure. Whether it is our ultra reliable and ultra used in the field VIP T400 encoders and decoders, like I was talking about before, they deliver ultra HD 4K 60 4x4x4, including the ability to send audio in and out, CAT via RJ45 or SFP single or multi-mode capabilities, IR relaying, RS-232 relaying, USB on each local source, and the ability to have layered switching as well. So to separate it out from video, audio, the two control ports, or USB, excuse me. Then we are also able to offer that encoder in a wall plate 2 gang box, which is obviously very difficult for any encoder or any transmitter or receiver as well, because of the size and amount of heat that is required to pass the quality of the video, but this still passes 4K 60 HDR alongside USB 2.0 with camera support, 300 megabits per second, typical up to 120 meters over Cat 6A, auto embedded, instant switching, and the LED channel display, so it can easily be integrated into your setup alongside our traditional boxed encoders and decoders. One of our newest products being added to the PureStream line of AV over IP is our VIP 150 encoder and decoder. It is our affordable, high-efficiency AV over IP solution, delivering full HD video, USB extension, and multi-view capabilities over 1G networks. So this pushes up to 1080p 60 with HDMI 1.3, HDCP 1.3 regulations, which is in an H264, 265 codec with less than 100 milliseconds latency, and also has USB 1.1 km analog audio as well. Allows multi-view video wall up to a 10 by 10 source all over your network and powered via PoE. We're also very proud to offer our own network switchers, which allow not only the ease of installation and ordering with all one bundle because ours is a managed switch, but also just gives the flexibility and consistency that PureLink has always offered. So this is our next generation layer 3 managed network switch designed for AV over IP specifically. So this one offers 24 1G ports. We also have a 48 port option, including 4 10 gigabyte SFP plus interlinks with LACP. It includes IGMP snooping, V1 through 3, and Curie, QoS, jumbo frames, API and diagnostics, and a comprehensive web GUI built into it to control all these aspects and alongside its TAA compliance. That is the PureStream side, but let's go into the crux of today's presentation, our Max 2 cross-platform matrix switcher. We talked about it, but just to go specifically into the Max 2 as opposed to how it is from Pure Media, Max 2 is the world's first matrix switcher and extension system, providing Ultra HD 4K 60 4x4x4 over HDMI 2.0, HDBaseT 3.0, DisplayPort 1.2, 1LC fiber, and 12G SDI. With its dynamic proprietary design features and technology, the Max 2 provides a truly adaptive solution that works where and when you need it. So this shows some of the pictures of its scalability from the 20 by 20 up front all the way to the 288 in the back. It offers seamless switching, 4K 60 as I mentioned, also up to HDCP 2.2 regulations. It incorporates OmniFlex modular design, so hot swappable PSU and input-output cards, employs airlift cooling systems, included internal components that regulate that, and input, output, and system diagnostics. So for every individual card, which all cards are going to be 4x4, whether input or output, it can give you a full diagnostics of if the firmware is running, if every port and what's actually being run through it properly, and anything else you would need to diagnose either from the front LCD screen, web GUI, or via its control ports. And we have our own Dante integration into these input and output cards as well, which work seamlessly through it, but we also have scalable sizes of audio matrices that can be placed into the back as well. Going into some of the specific cards for it, this is our 4K 60 HDMI input card with scaling for the Max 2. So some of the key features of this is the selectable Dante or IP audio, the 4K 60 4x4 media processing and auto scaling with frame rate conversion. Goes up to 4K 60 as we mentioned, unbalanced 2-channel stereo audio, embedded and de-embedded, hot plug and auto detect, and TAA compliant alongside NDAA compliant. This is our HDMI output card. So a lot of the same features, scalable Dante, frame rate conversion, all the other things we just talked about there, and which I kind of didn't say before, but it's ideal for enterprise AV, government, military, or 24/7, 365 mission critical systems, as all of our frames are, but specifically for this video distribution. As we talked about before, we support for our matrix switchers outside of HDMI, but have HD-based T options, fiber, SDI, DVI still, DisplayPort still, and several different options with Dante as well. So if this is something that you may see yourself looking into, or something you want to test out on your own for its capabilities, we do offer a test drive with PureLink, we like to call it, where you can try out any PureLink product for 30 days and actually see it in the space. So obviously, a lot can be said in these webinars, or a lot can be said on our website itself in terms of its specs and how it could work for you, but get a firsthand experience of the technology in your space for the individual project that you are working on, to see how it will fit, the reliability of it, being able to run 24/7 and still see that reliable output from day 1 to day 30. And with any issues in the installation part or in the troubleshooting and testing of it, try our customer service line as well and see how that comes with the reliability of it for any troubleshooting that could be done remotely over the phone, to figure out your solution during installation, or see what could be going wrong with anything that you tried testing, or see our process of, wouldn't necessarily be an event replacement, but seeing the ability for us to take something in, work alongside what you're trying to do, allow us to replicate the setup that you're working for, and just get a small taste of what we can offer on the support side of audio video. So that just about does it for today's webinar. We want to offer this chance to let you guys join the PureLink community, or LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, to see our ever-growing discography of videos, including how-to videos for some of our Max 2 new specs that we're trying to showcase, or some of our other stuff for our icon control and automation, and any other new product releases are always being updated on these social media sites, and will allow us another way to get in touch with you and figure out what maybe we should be working on, what we might need to work on that we've released in the past, whatever you may be, because we always advocate and ask for feedback from the field, because we know that is the best way for product development and updates to our products, is by hearing it from the end users and seeing exactly what is required, what we may be missing, or what could always be worked on to help the next solution of the future. And lastly, contact us. So if you have any specific questions that you already know about, or just want to get any more information on any of the slides that we talked about today, the history of the company overall, or the products coming down the line, we'd be happy to hear from you via our phone number or our email, sales@purelinkAV.com. If it's more of a technical support question or technical spec question, and you want myself or someone else on the technical support team to answer that, we would be happy to at support@purelinkAV.com. That's support@purelinkAV.com. But once again, I want to thank everyone for being a part of today's webinar, the story behind cross-platform matrix switching. I was Tyler. I had a great time today. Thank you so much for coming in, and we hope to hear from you next time.